Live with studios in Midland and Odessa, you're watching CBS7 First Alert News at 9 on the CW West
I tell you
Texas.
the best thing about this, you know how the kids go to games together or they go out? It's great seeing them invite the special ed kids because they get to learn them through sports and they know that they're just kids just like them.
The third annual Unified Track Meet was today, and while student athletes got the chance to bring home the gold, it's not what's really at the heart of the event. In just a few minutes, we'll tell you more. Thanks for joining us for CBS7 News on the CW, and thanks to those of you joining us live from our CBS7 YouTube. I'm Lauren Munt, and we start tonight tracking crime. Odessa police are asking for your help, looking for this man, 56-year-old Tony Cleaver. This mugshot is from a previous arrest, and he's wanted for burglary of habitation, assault causing bodily injury, and evading arrest. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is encouraged to contact Odessa police or the Odessa Crime Stoppers. And you may have heard that 3 Midland babies have contracted botulism in the last year. And for adults and even young children, ingesting these spores aren't as deadly because our bodies are more developed. But with infants, the disease could quickly take a turn for the worse.
It's not very common, but it is a medical emergency if it should arise.
Over the last 5 years, the state of Texas has only averaged about 10 infant botulism cases a year, which is why these 3 cases in Midland raise questions. One question in particular, how did this happen?
The first conversation we had was about all of the obvious things that you know about. Was it honey? Was it canned goods? Was there any home construction going on that might have kicked up these infected dirt spores? Went through what felt like a game of 20 questions of all of the things that I could have done to cause it, and the answer was no to all of them.
We're not a farming community. There aren't new builds where we live. Like, you cross off the big ones. Like, none of us have remodeled. Our neighbor didn't just plow down a house and build a new house. Our neighborhoods are pretty established.
Tomorrow night on CBS7 News at 6, 10, and of course right here at 9 on the CW, we hear from the city of Midland, a pediatric nurse practitioner, and more from the parents whose babies contracted botulism. All of this is in my special report, airing tomorrow night. We're going to take a pause now and talk your weather forecast with meteorologist Sawyer McElroy. Sawyer, what are we looking for as we head into the weekend?
Well, sadly, we're going to see those winds ramping up, especially tomorrow afternoon and evening as we head into our Saturday. Temperatures right now aren't too bad across the state. Still looking at 60s, 70s, and 80s out there. Temperatures closer to home, 60s, 70s, and 80s as well. 72 currently in Odessa, 74 in Midland, down to 60 in Marfa, 63 in Alpine, 77 in Presidio. Winds overall anywhere from being about 5 to 10 miles per hour, so just a light breeze for us out there tonight. Not seeing those winds quite yet. Taking a look at satellite and radar, clear skies, quiet conditions for us tonight, and those will continue through the overnight hours as we head into our Friday. For our hourly temperatures, seeing those temperatures dropping into the upper 50s by about the 3 o'clock hour, and then those low 50s by about 7, so that's kind of where we're going to bottom out as we head into our Friday. Looking at our wind speeds and gusts, though, as we head into late tomorrow and into tomorrow evening, we are going to see those winds starting to ramp up across the region ahead of our next cold front coming up on Saturday.
Thank you, Sawyer. In your oil and gas news, the Biden administration is backing off on refilling America's emergency oil stockpile. The Energy Department says the administration will no longer buy up to 3 million barrels of crude for a reserve site in Louisiana. The department says the shift comes amid rising prices at the gas pump. According to AAA, the national average has climbed by 20 cents over the past month to $3.57. Prices have climbed over fears the war in the Middle East could escalate and disrupt oil supplies. And continuing on those gas prices, they're still rising, especially as people get ready to travel across the state to see the total solar eclipse. According to a report from AAA, Midlanders can expect to pay around $3.27 a gallon. Meanwhile, Odessa drivers are paying around $3.21. The lowest average is in Tyler, where people are paying $2.99. And the highest price in the state is El Paso, where the average price for a gallon of gas is $3.46. And like we said earlier, the average price across the country currently stands at $3.57 a gallon. The state average is $3.17. That's actually only 1 cent more compared to around this time last year. And some consumer news for you now. Whether you're aiming to launch a new business, embark on a startup venture, or you're seeking to sustain and further grow your established enterprise, the Latina Entrepreneur Academy might be the place for you. The Academy offers free classes tailored to equipped Latina women with the skills and resources that are essential for their entrepreneurial success.
Across the Latina Entrepreneur Academy, and I was like, okay, let's get to it. Like, I really want to take my business serious and take it to the next level. Having, community business owners teach you about their journey, what they've learned, their mistakes.
For information about joining the Academy, you can visit our website, CBS7.com, or download the CBS7 app. Turning now to some education news, $300,000. That's how much the Midland College Transportation Training Program received today, all to give full ride scholarships to 20 students and for them to receive a new truck. West Texas needs more truck drivers, which is why the Midland Development Corporation and the Permian Basin workforce decided to help out. The new Peterbilt truck is one that's used currently by employers, so students can be ready to hit the road once they graduate.
The newer trailer, of course, has better safety features. Right? It's got the all-wheel disc brakes. It actually came with the Bendex system for a blind spot and to notify the student if they're following too closely. So those are really good things to incorporate because most companies have those now.
There are currently over 20 students on the wait list for the program, and this year it's already had 92% of students land a job immediately upon graduation. And in Andrews, the automation programs at Andrews ISD is getting new equipment. Now in their second year, the program is upgrading from the basics to workforce grade, so the students are ready when they graduate. It'll focus on motor controls and equipment that's actually used in the oil fields.
With the year 2 equipment purchased, our students will at least be able to graduate with a level 1 certificate, which when we talk to some of our industry partners, that's super important to them because it shows them that the students have met a certain learning standard and they've completed a certain amount of courses. So without the funding or without the equipment, we couldn't go on to year 2.
Andrews ISD will receive the equipment by the next school year. And today, more than 240 students visited Odessa College from over 13 counties. They're students who have signed the Wrangler Promise Pledge, which says that they'll attend any college. However, OC has said that they'll fund up to 60 credits or an associate's degree for students who have pledged and choose to attend Odessa College. The Wrangler Promise makes it so that students attending can do so without any financial barriers.
It's a last dollar scholarship, so anything that my financial aid, my scholarship doesn't cover, I can still go to college, and my family doesn't have to have a lot saved away or thousands of dollars to spend just on one person going to get an education for a couple of years.
Seniors interested needed to pledge by April 15th to secure funding. 670 students have already signed the Wrangler Promise, but the goal is 1,200. To learn more about eligibility for the program, you can visit our website. Again, that's CBS7.com. The Education Partnership of the Permian Basin held a summit today to discuss how to improve education. Superintendents from across West Texas gathered at the Bush Convention Center to talk about ways to build partnerships with local businesses and higher education institutes. These meetings should provide parents a sense of comfort, knowing that educators are working to improve schools. That's according to ECISD Superintendent Scott Murray.
So there's a lot of really good work happening in this entire region, and so parents should feel good about what's happening, but more importantly, the opportunities that are coming down the road for kids.
This is the 4th year the Education Partnership has held the summit. And special needs students from MISD Junior High Schools and Bynum School competed at the 3rd annual Unified Track Meet today. This year, over 100 students competed from all over Midland. The track meet lets students athletes with and without disabilities have the opportunity to compete in events like the 100-meter dash, the long jump relay races, and more. But the track meet is about more than bringing home the gold. It's about making sure everyone is included.
It's enjoyable. I like that so many people have come here to see us race. I was happy. I got to be part of something. I felt energized.
Event coordinators are hoping to see more events like the track meet leading up to the Fall Classic later this year. And tonight, the Actor Theater held the Giggle and Give fundraiser. All of the money raised will go to benefit the YMCA of Odessa. Besides ticket sales, there was also a silent auction with items like sweet tickets to a Dallas Cowboys games or private dance classes. Comedian Lucas Boehm was the feature of the fundraiser, and he's worked with other comics like Dave Chappelle, Jimmy Fallon, and Pablo Francisco. But for him, comedy is about connecting with others and the community.
Today isn't about me. It's not about my career. This is about helping a community out, helping people out through comedy. And I'm just very fortunate and very happy that I got to do it in this beautiful, beautiful area, the Edgar Theater and Odessa, Texas.
Again, all proceeds will benefit the Odessa Family YMCA, which offers swimming, exercise classes, Zumba, kids programs, and more. And across the state of Texas, millions of Americans are expected to travel to see the total solar eclipse on April 8th. Cities and towns along the route of totality are expecting big crowds. While the boost as visitors is good for local economies, the extra people are expected to cause some chaos on the road and in the skies. Jen Sullivan has some safety tips and warnings for travelers in today's Consumer Watch.
It's a rare event, a total solar eclipse, and millions of Americans are expected to travel to see the awe-inspiring sight on April 8th. But that means more drivers on the roads and more passengers at airports.
You really need to plan ahead and be safe.
Communities from Mexico up to Canada are in the path of totality, meaning the moon will completely cover the sun, creating total darkness during daylight. Some areas like western New York are expecting 1 million visitors. Elizabeth Carey with AAA has several tips for drivers, like navigating the old-fashioned way with a map, especially if you're traveling in less populated areas.
In a very rural area, you're talking about wilderness with no cell service.
AAA also recommends drivers don't try and watch the eclipse while driving. Have your headlights on. Don't wear your eclipse glasses while driving, and watch out for animals.
It could trigger wildlife to be out and about.
And if you're flying, the FAA is warning travelers to expect long lines and possible delays at airports. Monday's eclipse falls during the busy spring break travel season. The FAA says they're expecting more than 46,000 flights the day after the eclipse. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
East Texas grocers are preparing for an influx of customers ahead of the eclipse. Brookshire's Grocery in Tyler tells us that they created a task force in order to help prepare their 79 stores in the path of totality. Locations will have increased staff over the weekend and will be stocked in advance to avoid trucks getting stuck in traffic.
We started about 3 months ago getting ready for this event. We've moved up trucks to make sure that we have product in the store. We've moved up fuel trucks to make sure that we have additional fuel in the stores, and then worked on the frequency that those deliveries will come. We've also worked on staffing to make sure that we are properly staffed in all of our stores.
They expect the biggest demand to be for snacking items like sodas and chips, in addition to basic necessities. You can watch coverage of the eclipse right here on CBS7. From 1 to 2:30 p.m. and streaming on our website with local news live. From 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. at its maximum peak, the moon will cover about 92% of the sun right here in West Texas at 1:32 p.m. And still ahead, it's tax season, which means it's more important now than ever to make sure that you're not getting scammed. Up next, how you can keep your money safe. With the tax filing season in full bloom, the IRS is out with the latest Dirty Dozen list of the most common tax scams. Phishing and smishing are at the very top, and that's when scammers will email or text you trying to get sensitive information. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger went over how to avoid scams, reminding viewers, among other things, that the IRS will never threaten legal action, promise a refund, or send an email or text demanding immediate payment. She says scammers are preying on fear and greed.
Fear, we're freezing your account. Greed, you've got a tax refund. You get something like that, especially if it's time sensitive, then you just run the other way.
The IRS urges people to avoid clicking any links in any unsolicited email or text if they are uncertain.
It's been an absolutely gorgeous past couple of days, but sadly the winds are going to return to round out our work week as we head into the weekend. Of all the details on that coming up after the break.
Now, from the CBS7 First Alert Weather Center, here's meteorologist Sawyer McElroy.
Good evening and happy Thursday, everybody. It was another decent day across the region. Here's a look at our high temperatures across the state, 80s and 90s out there. Closer to home, we also saw high temperatures in the 70s, 80s, and some 90s for our far southern portions of the region. Got up to 83 in Odessa today, 85 in Midland, 75 in Marfa, and 84 in Presidio. This is all because of a nice ridge of high pressure that's building across the central U.S. at the present time. That will just continue to build as we head through tomorrow. Looking at our current temperatures, still on the pleasant side, 60s, 70s, and a few 80s out there. 72 currently in Odessa, 74 in Midland, 60 in Marfa, 77 in Presidio. Winds relatively light, anywhere from about 5 to 10 miles per hour, and not really seeing any gusty conditions out there tonight. Looking at satellite and radar, clear skies, quiet conditions out there for our Thursday night. Taking a look at Futurecast as we head through tonight, we are going to see those clear skies, quiet conditions continuing. As we head into the early morning hours of our Friday, though, we are going to start to see some clouds rolling through the area, but overall we are looking to see mostly sunny skies continuing throughout the day for our Friday, but we are going to see some changes on the way tomorrow in the form of winds. But tonight, not too bad. We're going to see those temperatures dropping into the 40s and 50s to start off the day for our Friday. Winds relatively calm, anywhere between about 10 and 15 miles per hour. For tomorrow, for our Friday, going to see temperatures very similar to what we saw today, 70s, 80s, and 90s out there. 82 in Midland and Odessa for tomorrow, 79 in Marfa, 91 in Presidio. But look at this, we got the winds. The winds come back into play tomorrow. Sustained winds anywhere from about 10 to 25 miles per hour. And then we are going to see some gusty conditions, especially in the late evening and into tomorrow nighttime hours. Looking at our CBS7 First Alert exclusive 10-day forecast, even stronger winds expected on Saturday with our next cold front, knocking those temperatures down about 10-15 degrees across the region. Sunday, though, looking absolutely gorgeous. Sunny skies, those temperatures in the 70s, but then warming back up to start off the new work week with temperatures back into the 80s. Mostly sunny skies expected Monday. Tuesday, though, is when our next cold front rolls through the region, and that brings the chance for some slight precipitation chances back to the area.
Scientists say the effects of climate change are threatening a morning ritual for millions, that cherished cup of coffee. Researchers overseas are rolling out new technology to help preserve the treasured tradition. CBS's Tina Kraus has the story.
A strong cup of Java is known to give a buzz, but plants are the ones getting wired up at this coffee plantation in Tanzania. Solar-powered sensors are helping researchers keep tabs on the effects of climate change.
The idea is to have this technology attached to some plants that will be our like the voice of the plantation.
Italian scientists attached electrodes to 20 plants at this coffee farm in East Africa.
That's what you want, yeah?
To monitor how a changing climate can tweak the taste of Arabica coffee. Arabica beans make up more than half of the world's coffee. And in Tanzania, where much of it is grown, trouble is brewing with unpredictable rainfall and extended droughts.
I saw suddenly an acceleration of competition for the water. But also less water flow in the river, the double effect.
The tech team says electrodes attached to the plants record and decode their electrical signals to reveal what they need, like water or more sun, helping to boost yield, enhance sustainability, and optimize irrigation.
If proven successful for coffee crops, this system principle could be applied to a wide range of agricultural sectors affected by climate change.
Researchers are already looking to up their game with artificial intelligence to create a smart system alerting farmers when it's time to take action. Tina Kraus, CBS News, London.
Still ahead, the National Zoo is welcoming 2 new baby primates who have a unique survival skill. We'll tell you all about it next. The Smithsonian National Zoo is welcoming these 2 pygmy slow lorises. I hope I said that right. They were born last month. Pygmy slow lorises are an endangered species, and they have the distinction of being the only known venomous primates. They can deliver a painful bite, which can cause an allergic reaction, and a slow healing wound. You know, they're so cute.
They kind of look like toys. There's a toy that looks like that with the big eyes. They look like toys.
Those are dangerous, because I definitely would see one and think that's
pet.
Yep, I would pet it and they would bite me. Yeah, and I would definitely have that allergic slow healing wound. Yes. Lorises are native to Southeast Asia, specifically Cambodia, and Lao People's Democratic Republic and Vietnam.
Interesting.
They are those eyes.
Their eyes take up half their faces.
Yeah, they do.
I love it.
I haven't been to the Smithsonian in a very long time, but I think this means I need to take a trip.
Let's do it. Let's take a trip.
Take a trip. Is it good weather for travel?
Well, you know, it's warm, but it's going to be windy again. We start to see those breezy conditions again tomorrow. Still going to see temperatures in the 80s for the majority of us tomorrow, but then we do have a cold front on Saturday. That's when those winds really ramp up, and we'll see a little bit cooler temperatures on Saturday, but not as cool as we saw this week behind that cold front. Still in the 70s for us, 70s on Sunday, but our next cold front on Tuesday may even bring some more rain to the region, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But for now, those winds definitely going to kind of be our focus for tomorrow and Saturday once again, but temperature's still looking pretty good throughout the weeks.
So good weather for us to hop on a plane tonight to go see those primates. All right, thanks for watching CBS7 News at 9 on the CW. We've got more news coming up at 10.